Hello and good morning, everyone. This is Riko Siempre. Welcome to the second episode of Virtual Vital Signs. Nice to see y'all here this morning. So I have here with me Selma Kattenhavn, aka Scientific Cryptid. So, if y'all unawares, or this is your first time tuning in, Virtual Vital Signs is a podcast in which um, we try to share here on the show the different health issues and conditions and disabilities that people live with on the day to day. And so I came upon Scientific Cryptid um, on my scouring through social media, and he is a fellow educator, teaches science here on Twitch and records videos on YouTube. And honestly, just hearing your story has really thought has really brought me to ask them to come aboard and share their story with all of you. So I want you to welcome in Selma. Selma, you want to introduce
Hi,
yourself?
Tess. Do can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I,
Can
okay,
everyone
I
hear
hope
him?
my mic doesn't die.
No, it's fine. Hey, chat, can everyone hear him? Yay! Okay, we're good. All right.
uh,
So,
Hi.
so Selma, do you want to introduce yourself to chat?
Uh, I then my name is Selma Kattenhavn. I am a I am a field scientist, aerospace engineer, and also research assistant in real life. And to be fair, when I get called educator, it's more like I just do my random bullshit about science and it just works.
Hey, I mean that works. Why not? you got you're still teaching someone something. So, where exactly do you work at? I know if you're able to share that.
So I'm working. I will try to keep it vague while also give some idea. I work at some kind of a national lab that is not government run in the Southeast Asia.
Now, in so I have to say I have seen some of your content, and it is kind of I know you speak in your own native language most of the time there, but at the same time, hearing you out and teaching is actually very wonderful of you to share that insight with everybody else. So thank you very much, Salma. I really do appreciate it.
I would say I want people to enjoy science the way I get to enjoy that is outside the school, because if like the way school teach science to make it boring is like it's supposed to be a sin, it should be illegal.
Hmm. So you're hoping that you can inspire others for your love of science with what you teach, right?
Yeah, I want to show, like, I don't want to tell people, I want to show them like the nicer side of it.
Well, I think that's one way to get people motivated, excited for it, right? Well, let's start off. Um, so, what are you? What would you like to share with the audience today of your health concern, of your health issues that you're living with right now?
uh to put it like briefly, my leg hurt all the time mostly. uh when I was in first years in the in the university, I got hit by a car and I bust my leg. And because I have some stupid level of pain tolerance, I don't think it's a big deal until 3 days later I just cannot walk anymore.
Hmm.
And I have to be carried to like the main hospital because university clinics say they cannot handle this kind of incident.
Yeah. So, what led up? So, what happened afterwards? Like, were you able to get your proper treatment?
Well, I get to the hospital, but it is a bit of a rush work because of the rush hour. And a hospital in Thailand usually have a lot of people seeking help. So
Hmm.
they get my leg checked up. Like I am all bruised. My leg is kind of like a many layer of purple color,
Oh my God.
and there like a little bit of bleeding inside my knee.
Oh wow.
And they're like 50-50 on if they want to like put a needle in it to drain the blood.
Oh wow. Jeez.
And then they try, and then they get my leg like a little bit of shake up and X-ray because they want to make sure that I am not have like a hairline fracture
Hmm.
in my leg. And then they ask, like they never ask me about what I'm doing. They only ask me if I have any important exam or work because it's around the month that most of the unit having the final exam. And I do have a final exam, so I have to tell them like I cannot take surgery right now.
Oh my
My family
God.
live
Oh.
like my family live like 500 kilometers away, so like half country away. And I have to take the exam. I cannot afford to like take extra years.
Hmm. And there's no.
And
No, go ahead.
they also say that if like even with the surgery, this kind of like tendon damage, sometimes not it's not going to go back to 100%. It won't be fully fixed. So I just choose for like a slower and no surgery way, which is like just let it heal by itself.
Hmm.
And I'm like 21, 22 at the time, so they say I'm pretty young, so it should work? Question mark, like a big question mark, and that's going to be really important later.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hang on.
And
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
and then well, after that, it just get a lot of painkiller.
Hmm.
I got like a normal painkiller, like a lot of NSAIDs, and I got the weird one that is not NSAID. It's some kind of like a super strong painkiller that they give to people after surgery. I take one
Oh.
of that, and I start poking my gut out. So I'm
Oh
like, I'm
wow.
fine. I am fine with pain. I have pain tolerance. I have that level of I can take this pain, so I would rather just take the NSAID and call it a day.
Oh man.
And and the big painkiller thing is like the non-NSAID one. They say like this thing not going to do anything much aside from not make it hurt. The NSAID does help about the inflammation that the damage is going to cause. So I
Hmm.
just take the NSAID and call it a day. And they also order physical therapy, and that's it. Pretty much everything I got. And it takes really long until I
Hmm.
can like walk normal again. I have to walk limp on my leg because both legs are almost equally damaged in the instant.
Yeah.
And the worst part is I was first year at the unit. The dormitory don't have elevator,
Hmm.
and I live on the fifth floor. So
Oh
they have to
wow.
move me to the second floor because the doctor banned me from using stairs.
Jeez. Well, to go more in depth about your health condition. So you shared with me that you had a grade 1 ACL tear in both your knees,
Mm-hmm.
and you also had a rib fracture from this car accident. Now,
which which I don't even know I have it because like everything hurt and I just don't feel like the pain in the chest is that important. I was dumb. I was really a dumb kid.
you know, to be
I
f-
supposed to know.
um, To be fair,
To be fair, it doesn't hurt for me, so I don't know it happened until like a year later.
no, I get that. So, like, to be fair, when you're young and you don't know as much about how pain is supposed to be, how health is supposed to be, um, you don't really understand or estimate like what's supposed to be the tolerable limit. And unfortunately, I think that might have been the case for you, having to go through all of this. Now, I got a quick question though. Um, that person who hit you with the car, did they ever stop to see if you're all right, to see if you're okay, let's try and help?
No, only the people near on the street nearby that come to help me. Like they just flee the scene. That is really normal thing to do in Thailand.
Oh my god, jeez.
Welcome to shithole country.
Aww. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of good things about Thailand, but there's just shitty people.
Not the road accident. We got like the top 5 road accident in the world or something. I'm pretty sure about that.
All right.
So like the person who hit me, they never show up. They never take responsibility, and because I don't think they have like a street camera.
They were able. They weren't able to ID the vehicle at all.
Yeah, no one managed to like get anything on that, and I was thinking it's not a big deal because when I got hit, like nothing really hurt aside from a few scratch. So I think that'll be fine. I don't even hit my head.
But it was far more than it actually was, huh?
Yeah. So it is not just I don't know how much pain is like too much, but it also like I don't feel pain as much as normal people did. I don't know what caused that, but I also never take painkiller when I got my wisdom teeth out. Like,
what, for real?
I don't feel anything. Yeah, they have to break my teeth out of my left jaw, and I never take the painkiller for that. I only take like the antibiotic they give me. That's it.
Real quick, let me say good morning to folks here in chat. Good morning, Contrive. Thank you for modding again this morning. Hello, Gaines Fairy. Hello, Puppy Sensei. Celeste. Frank. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Witch Hazel. Thank you all for coming in and watching today's episode. Really do appreciate y'all. So, yes, and thanks a lot, Contrived. I really do appreciate you. Okay, so let's going forward. So with after the accident, you mentioned that you didn't go to the hospital and you never got the proper treatment because of what you thought was tolerable pain. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was thinking that it's fine. It's not that hurt for me. Like I don't feel that it hurt. It just disturbed my daily life.
Yeah, I think you shared with me that whenever you sneeze or cough, like you get that rib pain. Do you still have that now?
No, I find out about the rib crack because back then I have this kind of weird rib pain. I go to hospital and they just check me out with the EKG and they say, "Oh, you're pretty healthy. A little bit of interlude here." I am a bit more fit than normal people. I am like active person, and I engage in like a heavy combat kind of sport. This will be important later. I promise.
Well, it definitely is.
And I'm also like someone who works in the workshop, so I'm not like a office worker. I do a lot of work that require both my brain and my body. This is also going to be really important later.
Of course. So, in terms of living with your accident after what happened with you, how are you able to navigate through work or your daily life?
it just get really annoying because I like to walk to place. In Thailand, is a place that you can walk, but the problem is the sidewalk is more like a planter that you can walk on it.
Yeah, I saw that. You shared a picture of like how what the walkway is, and there's little to no, if any, clearance for disabled individuals. So, like, say if you used a wheelchair or a walker, there's literally no space for them to walk, right?
Yeah, and if you use a wheelchair, you get stuck. You literally just get stuck because the floor is uneven, and from the sidewalk into the street, it have like a really tall gap.
Oh wow. So, for those unfamiliar, at least here in the United States, where a lot of where I live, we have something that's called the Americans with Disabilities Act. So that's a series of protections for people who have disabilities, and in doing so, um, they also need to businesses, places where public places have to have a certain amount of requirements in order to make sure that people who use wheelchairs or assistive devices are able to go about their daily life in the community. That's why we have like these parking spaces. That's why the sidewalks are particularly wide, and at least were those who are, at least in places that are planned after the passing of the ADA. Um, But in your case, how is Thailand different for disabled
I
individuals?
I never hear of anything about infrastructure that support disabled people, but like a general public opinion on it is we need one.
So, how would you say is the general attitude towards disabled individuals in Thailand?
Like I never actually see anyone with like prosthetic leg in my life before, and when I see one, it is belong to a foreigner, and they have like this carbon fiber looking thing,
Hmm.
and like a metal rod and a feet for a leg. And I was really excited because I was thinking that is like a cyborg, like in the movie. Like,
Oh,
oh, we have this kind of tech in real life, really?
so you never
And
seen
then,
anything like that, huh?
like, I never see anything like that. Like external device that moves like your hand or your leg. It's basically just Full Metal Alchemist for me. And I was like, this thing is actually real. Like, for me, when I was a kid, I was thinking prosthetic is like wooden arm or a stick leg that you usually see in the movie, or you
Yeah.
usually see like people people with disability use.
Mm-hmm.
Or some people just don't have the extension; they just use a crutch or they just use a wheelchair. So I would say there are a lot of barrier that keep people with mobility problem inside their house. Like the walkway is one thing, the transportation is one thing, and the price of the prosthetic is just stupidly high. Like it's so high that there was a time when I am going crazy over 3D print tech. I was thinking I want to make something because I know someone who lost their arm in accident, and I know a kid who blew their hand up in the festival. Imagine it's like Julie Ford in the US, but it's Thailand version.
Yeah.
And then people also, got spaghetti hand because they poorly handle the pyrotechnic stuff.
Oh
Like
wow.
sometimes I just feel like, oh, maybe I could make something. And when I look up like the actual price of the device, I was like, this thing costs like 2-3 months of a normal salary. It's just crazy. and those are not a custom made one. It's basically like off the shelf,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not fit. I know a friend who talk about his dad who don't have a leg, and they say his dad just prefer using a crutch because the prosthetic don't fit him and he cannot afford to get a custom made socket.
So, um, there's no. So, is there any kind of healthcare coverage in Thailand that can support that, or is it like our situation in the United States where a lot of it is through commercial insurance? What's going on over there? If you don't mind explaining it.
It's a weird situation. So you can, if you're citizen, you can just go to hospital and like not pay a lot to get yourself treated, and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to go through a lot of hoop. You can just show up at the hospital without like appointment, and you have to wait maybe half day, or if you emergency, you just get emergency treatment, and it's not going to make you bankrupt. Like no one bankrupt from basic healthcare. Like my American friend come over and his appendix just popped,
Whoa.
and all it costs is $700.
Yeah, they were.
Everything, like everything from surgery, from the room, the care, and I got him to the main hospital, which is also like a medical school, and I got in touch with my relative who is like a surgeon, and they managed to cut off his appendix without need to refill him with a blood bag because he got a really rare blood type in
Oh.
Thailand.
Oh my. So.
Basically, I have to like get a specialist to deal with his gut,
Oh
and that
jeez.
cost only 700 and no going through hoop and everything. But here is the problem: you get like assuming your leg is bust or you lost your leg, you got everything treated. That's not going to break your back. But then when you want to afford the extension to make your life easier, like the tools, the prosthetic leg, the brace, that is when things get really expensive.
It will literally cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Like when I got a crutch in 2024 last year, they say they get it that I can afford this, but if I'm not using it anymore, please send it back to the hospital so they can like give it to people who cannot afford it.
Oh
I
wow.
did send it back. Yeah, I did send it back.
Real quick, thanks for showing up, Wolf a Lot Spam and Hikari. Good of you to make it. I'm glad you came in. Welcome to the second episode of Virtual Vital Signs. I have here with me Selma Kattenhavn, aka the Scientific Cryptid, and we're exploring his life after having a traffic accident and how he's been handling it so far. So, continuing our conversation. In regards to living with disability. Um, in Thailand, do you happen to see a lot of disabled individuals out in public?
I would say I rarely seen one.
You rarely
Even
see
in this
them.
like in the street in daily life,
Hmm.
most I get to see is old people in wheelchair with their family.
Right. But you don't, do you see anybody around your age or younger out and about who
Well,
also live with disabilities?
I know someone because he is like the friend of my younger brother. He lost an arm in an accident, but I don't really actually know him enough to like talking about the incident. But I did go pick up my brother, and I see his friend just using what left of his arm, just hitting people as
Mm.
a joke. And I do see someone with a bad leg at the lab I'm working right now. We are not working in the same lab. I see him in the corridor. He just walk with one limp leg. He basically walked like me, and I finally just feel like, okay, finally some place that this is not a problem.
Um, but would you say that seeing people living with people with disabilities, at least visible disabilities. they're not a very common sight out in public.
Yeah, and I can guess why, because the infrastructure is so hostile for anyone. I would say anyone, because even if you got a good leg, sometimes the infrastructure just said no and then break your leg.
Mm. Now, speaking about that, how accessible would you say is your average business or public space in Thailand, or at least around where you live? How hard would you say it would be for someone who does live with a physical disability to get around?
I would say it sucks because everywhere, like stairs everywhere. I have to pick like a little bit more expensive dormitory or a place of living because
Hmm.
I cannot cross the crosswalk above the street. I still cannot walk up the stairs or too many of them.
And so
Uh, and
there's
everywhere it just stairs, like 2, 3 steps of stairs, it's still stairs.
not
It's
an
still a pain.
not an elevator in sight.
Well, if you go to like a big tall building, they have one. But if you go to like even a street shop, it will be like 2 stairs in front of the shop.
Mm. Do
Like
you
step everywhere, stairs everywhere, uneven floor.
is anything maintained at all in order for people with disabilities to be able to travel freely?
Well, they will attempt to try to make like accessible bus, but it's still the infrastructure is not compatible with the bus.
Oh
You still
man.
have like a really tall walk, like sidewalk for it. You still have really uneven. So even if you can get yourself out of the house into, I don't know, a taxi or
Hmm.
go with your relative, then you still stuck if you try to go to market.
But would you so otherwise if you're someone who has a disability, do you always need to have like someone to accompany or advocate for you in order to do anything out in public?
Well, I see some people like selling stuff, but they usually have someone else with them, or they have someone else to help them move around because uh like if you want to cross the street, even if they have the slope,
Hmm.
the car sometimes don't stop for you, or sometimes you move too slow and the walk the crosswalk green light just not working anymore. It gives you like 30 seconds to cross, and
30 seconds?
sometimes that is not even enough for people with good leg.
Oh my god.
Like 45 seconds or something like that. Like the longest I see is like 1 minute.
Oh man. Um
I'm not joking.
I
That is like
I
the crosswalk
I
in
don't
front of
doubt
my.
you. Now, have you ever had a chance to go anywhere outside of Thailand, or say like that's more I would say more disability friendly?
Uh, I never go anywhere outside Thailand yet,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but I do some research when I was working for like a Singapore company,
Uh-huh.
and in my opinion, like I don't know if it apply everywhere, but like in my opinion, it a little bit better maintained in Thailand.
Right. I mean, not to say that we don't have our own issues in the United States. I know there's, yes, we have all these accommodations and such, but that doesn't mean that accessibility is, the accessibility still needs work. Um, Even in the cultural mindset, I still see people not even considering people with disabilities. So, say for example, um, as much as you say, quote unquote, shithole, how Thailand's a bit of a shithole, quote unquote. Your words, not mine. um, in the states, even if there is accessibility for disabled individuals, it's still sometimes it's still very hard for us to even access that. So let me bring up an example. I remember going to the HoloLive LA Dodgers game back July last year. Incredibly fun time. Um, it was a sight to behold. Getting out of there was a problem from the stadium. So trying to leave, because there's only a couple elevators throughout the whole stadium, and so because where the Dodger Stadium is, it's very hilly, and you got a lot of walking and climbing to do. Um, but of course, there are people who are disabled that want to enjoy a good old fashioned American baseball game, but they gotta leave too. You can't stay at the stadium forever. So, me and my friend, we were trying to wait for an elevator to bring us down because, I myself have my own mobility issues. And every time it would get to the floor that we need to get off of, that elevator is packed. Packed. And it's not with disabled individuals, it's with people who can just go ahead and walk down the stairs just fine. And it sucked because there was all these people in wheelchairs and walkers or who need assistance just waiting at the elevator in line trying to find some way to get on. And every time it opens up, it's just it's painful to see because it's just sorely packed. Like there's no consideration for the people who do need to actually use it. So luckily, I am still mobile enough where I can walk down up and down the stairs, but I shit you not, there was probably some wheelchair user over there who had to wait upwards up to an hour just to take the elevator down to their vehicle or to transportation. And not even that, when me and my friend wanted to take the bus back to the train station where we have our car parked, because there's no way in hell we're gonna be parking over at Dodger Stadium. There was a massive line just to take the bus over back to the train station. But lo and behold, when we got closer to the front, they said, "Oh yeah, if you're disabled, just come right up to the front." And unfortunately, that was never communicated to us. We were waiting in line for a good hour and a half, trying to get onto the bus to get there. And next thing you know, when we go up there and find out we could have just gone home or gone back to the station in a matter of minutes, that kind of that really did bother me in the sense. So even though we live in a quote unquote first world country, we still have our problems because part of it is comes down to the societal things that are ingrained within our culture, and another thing is communication. So even though you do have your own criticisms of Thailand in terms of their disabled access, I think that this accessibility is something that we all need to keep working on, because even though here in the States we do have quote unquote access, how can we access the accessibility if we can't even get there to begin with?
And sometimes people just think if it's not visible, you are not disabled, and this is my most painful part of it,
Hmm.
because it's still a problem that I have even nowadays. Like since the day one to today, I still have to deal with it a lot.
Yeah. So how are you dealing with living with your health condition, if like in your daily life? Like, can you give me a day of how you're navigating that?
I would say I get a little bit more easy to piss off when my leg is hurt.
Mm.
And if people want to pull a bullshit with me, sometimes I just hit back at them. I just have the moment recently, like 2-3 days ago. Like the like I work inside a university,
Mm-hmm.
but not with the university, but I take the uni bus. And they don't have a seat, and when I want to take my time asking if I can sit somewhere, like they just chew me to get inside and just stand because you're young, you look like a first year student, you probably can do it. And I'm like, I am almost 30. My leg is recovering from 5 years ago injury, and I have a field work in like 4 months. If this thing is not healing, I am fucked. Sometimes
So
I have to be pissed off at people about it to get what need for my condition.
does anybody try to help you out with that if that happens, or are you
Everyone just look away. Like everyone seriously just not look at me.
so you basically become invisible?
It's more like it may be cultural because you normally don't want to be involved in someone else like business. Like
Hmm.
most of the time, if this happens, someone give their seat or something like that. But that day, the bus is like really packed, and the driver not really wait for anyone to do that. They just zooming off
They're just zooming
with me
off.
holding. Yeah, they zooming off with me just holding my dear life with the pole inside the bus. You know the grabbing pole.
Oh yeah, yeah, I do.
So I just hang on to it like a cat when people take the cat to the vet.
Oh man, jeez.
No,
Um,
and they dump me halfway to destination because they don't want to go that far.
what? No, really?
Yeah, so I work like on one side of the unit, and my place is on the other side of the unit. And like in the
Hmm.
middle is like the faculty that need to use the lab stuff sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
So they dump me in front of the engineering department. And I have to walk like a kilometer back on the walkway that look like a fucking planter.
Oh man, that is that. They don't have the wherewithal to drop you off where you need to be, right in front. They're forcing you
Yeah,
to.
they just shoot everyone off, not just me. Like everyone just leave.
Oh
Just have to
wow,
leave because they're going to like go back to wherever they need to go to start the route again.
that sounds that that's pretty shitty. Um,
And that happened like twice this week.
twice.
Twice. The
Oh
first
my god.
day the first day is the day that I send you the planter walkway. The second day is like Tuesday.
Oh wow. Jeez.
And I complain to everyone because my leg go back to a little bit more hurty than it's supposed to be.
Now, is there any way is there any way that you can launch a complaint or anything to whoever is controlling, or who's in charge of like the transportation, or is that something that's just going to happen regardless? Is it like by a driver? Is
Well,
there?
I mean, they normally have like call this number if you have like a rude diver,
Uh
but
huh.
it usually not doing anything. They just have some place for people to complain.
Oh, that's
Like unless you're famous people, so make
unless
me
you're
famous.
famous.
So make me like a big channel so I can like cheat on them and make them change. So a lot of people like me, or a lot of people who need a better bus driver and condition to
just
get to use it.
just better access overall, huh?
Yeah, in in the contrast, like in the big contrast,
Yeah.
the lab that I work at, like the building, it have a really short stair, so I can walk up and down without get too much pain. And they have a slope that actually works, not a 30-degree up slope. That I mean, who is that even for a cat?
I mean,
And they also have elevator for every floor in the building. And the neat part is they have like what does it call? It's like the little mini bus with a very low floor that you can just step up without too much effort. So yeah, it is like a different world inside there.
now, why? So, why is that? If you don't mind sharing. Um,
To be fair, I don't know, but a lot of but this is like an inside joke in engineering field that everyone hates civil engineer because they design really shit infrastructure. So so I guess if you're a civil engineer, do better.
so this is a call out to all the civil engineers out there in chat or out in the world. Y'all gotta not be shitty. uh, hello, JayShiro. Good to see you again, my friend. I'm glad you're here. All right. So now, in terms of living with your with the pain that you feel that you're having and with your disability, um, how do you feel about having to navigate it in your day to day life? Like, how
I
has
would
that
say
affected you
it's like
emotionally and mentally?
mildly inconvenience. Like I still do things the same way. I still looking out for the way to make things a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just go crazy, go stupid, and think like if my knee cannot lift my own weight, maybe I can like make a spring load exoskeleton to make it work, and it's not working because I don't know shit about designing like biomedical stuff.
You des- Okay, hold on. You are designing your own prosthetics or your own mobility aids?
Yeah, like if I have a problem with getting up from sitting position, so I'm thinking like if there are external force that help me getting up, like it don't have to 100% help me, but a little bit more like less force that I need to put in my actual leg, maybe it work. And it's around the time that people have like a 3D printer start to be a big thing, and I see people do like a 3D print like exoskeleton, and I'm like, maybe that could work. Maybe I could get something to work, and then I spend like a day and night on YouTube looking like a different model that people make, and I get like a CAD software trying to like design my own thing, and decide between like do I want a pneumatic, do I want electric motor, or do I want like a more passive because I don't want to carry a big heavy battery with me. And it's still like expensive and really specific project that I still want to do, but I have to put it on hold because I don't know shit about this, and I cannot afford to like just take biomedical engineering degree to just make something that make my leg work.
Oh man. But I'm
I
so
would say a lot of my a lot of things that make me not getting too bothered with it is like we have technology, we probably can fix it. I just need to find a way to do it.
we have the
It's
technology.
it's the engineer part in me that not giving it up because one shitty leg.
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that you're doing your that you're trying to adapt in the best way possible with what happened with you. Um, so has there been any significant progress since you've been trying to make your own mobility aids, or are we still on the ground level and trying to figure that out?
Well, I don't know a lot about anatomy because I am from like mechanical engineering side of things. So the project is pretty much on hold, but I still keep watching a lot of video about people who make this thing and hope maybe one day I could make that. But for now, at least for now, things getting better because I finally find a doctor that understands my situation
N-
than like the previous treatment that I got.
Now, talking about doctors and the clinicians and providers that you've had, I know some people receive great care with their doctors, nurses, and other staff. Some people don't, and they're treated terribly. How would you say was the care you received from your healthcare staff that have been treating you or helping you along the way?
So the first doctor that I got, like when the injury is like freshly happened,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I would say he do the job, but he don't understand the situation. Like they think I am a normal university student doing, industrial design stuff. So, if you can walk, you will heal. The problem is I am also working like almost full time on the workshop floor,
Mm-hmm.
breaking my leg. So it always a cycle of it get healed, I go back to work, it hurt, and it get healed again, it get hurt again, and this is like a cycle that's happening like since then. And I would say it is not doing good for my leg.
Did you
The
have?
second time,
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
you first. It's fine. It's okay to ask.
I was gonna say, so like, when you kept going back and forth, like, did you have like, was it the same doctor who saw you, or was it like a new doctor every time? Was it like a revolving
Some
door?
sometimes the same doctor, sometimes different, but they have the same file, so they get a little bit of idea of what happening before.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I won't call it a bad one, I will call it unfortunate, is the one that I got in December 2024. I go to the hospital at 5 a.m. and I get my leg checked at like 1 p.m. because at that time I am at my hometown. It's just like really, it's so far away from any civilization. So
Yeah.
like that small hospital have to handle a lot of people, and I have like 200 queue before me and like 300
Two
people behind me.
hundred.
Yeah, I think it's like 280 something.
Oh my. Oh wow. And
And that is the hospital that asking me if I am done with my crutch. They asking me like, please give it to give it to the hospital so they can give it to people who cannot buy it.
oh jeez. Oh.
And the doctor is so busy that they don't even have a time to like just checking my leg by bending my leg to see like if it get loose or if it make a noise. They just poke me like two time, and they say inflammation. Give me the NSAIDs. Like it is not the best care, but I don't blame them. I would say we don't have enough doctor, we don't have enough hospital in the place, and I would say if one day I become like a rich big channel, I want to build more hospital in my hometown for this exact reason.
I mean, I would love to see it, especially with what you're telling me. Um, because
But
it sounds like access to care, at least around where your hometown is, just is few and far between.
yeah, it is not hard to go to hospital, but it really it take a whole day to get a care. And it is not a whole day because jumping through the hoop or anything, it's just a sheer number of people
Oh my
who
god.
need to get treated. Like we don't have to deal with the insurance stuff. We don't have to like making appointment first. You can just walk in. The problem is in some place you just get a care immediately because big hospital, a lot of
Right.
doctor. But if that happen in a rural town, like my hometown, you just don't have enough doctor. You just have like one, two doctor that in like a province hospital.
Yeah.
And they have to treat like 100 people a day, something like that.
My God. I can't imagine, especially if it's just the one hospital in the entire area. Um,
It's like one hospital in the middle of nowhere that treats people from like the province it is in and like the surrounding smaller province that don't have a big hospital.
oh wow. So they have to travel. So around where you live, people need to go travel entire provinces or counties just to get the appropriate care.
Yeah, they have like a small hospital, but if you like need a surgery, you need to see specialists. You still have to get your ass to the big hospital to get yourself checked.
Oh my.
Like we do get a lot of big hospital, but it's not enough. We got
Mhm.
like one doctor per like 8,000 people or something.
What? One doctor
And
for
this is
eight
the
thousand.
country, and this is a country that every parent wants their kid to be a doctor.
Yeah, but where
The
are
country
they?
Asian. Like every Asian parent want their kid to be a doctor, but we don't even have enough doctor from
Oh
the sheer
my.
amount of people.
What about the other staff, like say nurses or techs or anybody else that participates in your
Not
care?
not enough to because a lot of people have to take like 2 day shift just to pull it off. Like people do have easier access to hospital, but it also taxing on people who working in the hospital too. A lot of people get just don't do it anymore from the load of
Mm-hmm.
the infrastructure. Like you got so many people need your help, but there's so much you can do when you know there are like 500 people waiting to see you in one day.
Oh my, I honestly couldn't even imagine being on the other end of it as a nurse. Because I get busy enough with the patients I take care of. I can't imagine you need to take on almost 5 times that. And
Yeah, there were times that uh when I was a kid, I helped my brother who do PhD, and his lab is near a hospital. And when I walk past like a yard of the hospital, there are a lot of people in a tent. That is people who come from a place like my hometown into a big town to get like really specific care, like like specific cancer that you need like experimental medicine for it. And someone asking me like they don't need money, they need a food. So I just run off to buy them a food.
my God, uh, I think that kind of really shines a light of the difference in healthcare between in the United States and elsewhere in the world, at least to Thailand. Um, I don't think that's something we really have perspectives on, or that they teach you. Um, in at least when I was in nursing school, um, how how internationally care is administered and delivered. So
Yeah.
like I'm
The third
uh,
you first.
no I'm so it's like I'm glad that you're able that anybody can get care like pretty cheaply, but at the same time, the fact that there's such a lack of access to it is astonishing to me.
And the third doctor is like the best and probably also the pain part of it too.
Yeah.
I got the third doctor because I got dragged over back to the big town again by my brother to be his like assistant in
Mm-hmm.
the big lab thing. And my leg got really hurt, still really hurt at the time. And he say, "You're here because I want you to do a field work,
Uh
and you
huh.
cannot do field work with that leg. So go to the lab clinic,
Mm.
and the lab pay for it." So I go and they spend like almost half hour to check like how my knee is moving on all the sides. And the care is really good and the meds just work. Like they give me like the latest version of the meds. Let me that luckily that lucky I have it next to me right now.
Oh, okay.
Uh, uh, I got like arcoxia 90 milligram and some muscle pain stuff. And this thing work way better than like the cheap and said that they give me before.
Oh, is it because they narrowed down what is exactly causing you your issues? Is that correct?
It is. It is also because they asked me like the first thing they asked me is what unit I am working in and what kind of work that I am doing. And this is when the two activity I tell you is going to be important
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
comes into play.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and
The
share
first
it.
two doctor they never asking me what kind of work I'm doing. Like if my leg is not hurt anymore, that is done. But when I talk to this doctor, they say that like the work is not done when it's not hurt. The work is done when you go back to what you can do before the accident.
That makes such a difference.
Yeah, so they say it's going to take a year to make it completely heal. But because I have like a roughly scheduled field work in June, so I asking them like, can it be done faster? And he say it could, but it's going to be a huge pain for you. And I got the meds, and I have to like apply the painkiller or like anti-inflammation cream like 3 times a day in the same time. And they say I don't need a crutch or don't need a cast because it's better to keep moving but not too much. So I have to lower my activity for it. They say it's going to not being a pain within 3 months if I doing it like if I'm doing it seriously, which is like it's been a month and it worked, and they still say like this is good, but you have to keep it from getting inflamed again. Every time it's getting inflamed again, it getting worse.
Mm.
Yeah, so I am like in the middle of doing give it a proper healing after 5 years, keep breaking it and keep healing it. So if I am done with this time with it this time, it's probably going back to almost the same to before accident. And like they don't ban me from going to gym too. I just cannot use my legs, so I can do everything that uh is like a sit down exercise thing. And the problem is this is like the level of care that you don't really get from the basic hospital. This is like a private hospital
Yeah.
that the organization pay for because they need to take care of the worker. We got a lot of field people here and we got a lot of workshop people here, so they know what they are doing. But in the same time, you don't have you shouldn't have to be like 1% of the country to be able to access this kind of stuff, or you shouldn't have to be rich people to get this kind of care outside
No, absolutely
the place
not.
like this.
Absolutely not. Everyone deserves quality care, no matter where you're from, what your financial
Like
status is, who you are.
I am happy about the care I got, but in the same time, I kind of sad because if I am not having a big crazy background in my life, I will never get something like this because I cannot afford it.
Yeah, and it's something we don't. Sometimes we don't really think about that. But I'm very happy to hear that you have the wherewithal to have that self-reflection about where you're coming from. And I hate to say it, but there is that certain amount of privilege. But I'm also glad to know that you're empathetic to anybody else who was in your shoes, because it is a shame how because not even I would say there's a lot of that here in the United States as well. if you have enough to pay, then you get a quote unquote better quality of care, which should never be the case because care is universal. Healthcare is a right, and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter who you are, your financial status, your social status, whether man, woman, everything and anything in between, what color your skin is. Everyone deserves that quality care. And I think it's just something that, we we need to still keep striving for.
Yeah, the difference from what I grow up with and what I get right now is like you shouldn't have to work as hard as me to get to this point. You should have this kind of care no matter where you are, what you are,
No, exactly.
or like how much money do you have. Like Thai healthcare system is really good, but in the same time, a lot of it is like a structure
Hmm.
issue that make people cannot give a proper care enough. Like the second doctor, like I would say if he got a lot of time, he'd probably give me a full checkup
Right.
and maybe asking me why I keep breaking my leg like that. But because there are 300 people behind me that he'd have to check that day, so they just cannot doing it.
Yeah. To which, you know, it's also not an admonishment for the clinicians who are trying to take care of you or everybody else over there, because from what you're describing, it's it's they need to work with what they got, and unfortunately, it's something that it's hard to manage. Like I said before, I mean my clinic, in my outpatient clinic, I have to deal with a census with about 120. I can't imagine being a doctor of a small hospital like that needing to manage, close to 3 to 500 patients. So on one hand, I can understand how how difficult it is to maintain that level of quality, that high quality of care. But I also understand that they're also hampered by the logistics of the situation with the availability of the kind of support that they have, because you can only have so many people to take care of or help take care of people. And I think
And
that's the unfortunate thing.
and a lot of time hospital cannot afford like a proper equipment.
Mm,
Like if you break a bone badly enough, sometimes you need like a external fixation for your bone.
yeah.
And it normally have like a stick poke into your bone and have external fixation. But in Thailand, a lot of places cannot afford the external fixation, so you have a
Yeah.
metal rod in your bone poking out, but it holds together with a cast.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god. It's it's very different. That's very different from like the normal treatment course. But I guess it's also hampered by the but like I said before, the availability of anything
Of
of
people,
of
of
people
equipment, of
of
a budget.
yeah, yeah. It's quite revelatory, to be honest.
No, it is something that I tell my friend who is working in healthcare that sometimes something that doesn't sound matter actually could decide if your treatment plan will finish it or will fail completely.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember. No, go ahead.
Uh, did I say something?
Were we about to?
I forget about it, so you go ahead.
I was going to bring up earlier. You said that the three doctors you worked with, it was the last one who thought about who thought about trying to get you to how you were before all of this happened. Um, so uh, is that a very common thought amongst healthcare providers in Thailand, at least in your experience?
I would say it's kind of like a different because a normal doctor who treat like a normal people, they just say, oh, you can use it normally, then it's fine. But in my case, it's more like a doctor who treat like sport person,
Mm-hmm.
that you not only treat the injury, you have to get them back to the competitive level again, because the line of work that I am in.
Yeah.
So I don't. It is a combination of we don't have enough doctor who doing that, and also I don't know that I need a specific doctor for this, and also even if I can find one of them, could I afford it?
Right. That's always the question. Um, you mentioned
But at
earlier.
least
No, go ahead.
If you're a doctor, like if you're a normal doctor treating people, at least you ask them a little bit about their daily life. Like sometimes people who look like someone who sit their ass in office all the time, they
Mm-hmm.
might be secretly active. They just don't look, a
You don't
really
look the
big buff
part.
because because they might have, a different body build, body type. I don't look like people who do active stuff, but I'm actually like pretty active.
Now, I was
Like
gonna. Actually, I was gonna tie into this next question that I have. Um, ever since the ever since the traffic accident and your subsequent treatments and care you received, um, how would you say you are in terms of being physically active? Are you able to how are you able to navigate being able to take care of yourself in terms of trying to keep up with with your own exercise, strength building? How's that working with you for you?
well, I don't really drop off exercise entirely when I get hurt. I just don't use the part that it hurt or the part that could affect it, but I would still, my leg hurt, but my arm still can lift, so I can just lift this 1 liter bottle as a weightlifting without using my leg because I'm sitting.
Mm.
That is the kind of thinking I I am in, and like in 2023, I was fit enough to take like a heavy combat tournament again, and then 2024, I screw up my leg again, so now I have to be recover well enough to do a field work and to go back to fight people again. I don't know if I could do it in the end of the year. I
Mm.
would not risk it if I am not confident in like the level of recovery I have, because I get a little bit older than the first time I hurt my leg.
Now, um, I wonder what your doctors think of whenever you go back. I wonder if they're thinking, Selma, you gotta quit breaking your leg, man. Jesus.
Yeah, sometimes they just say, "Oh, why can't you stick to normal office work?" And I'm like, but I am, but I don't like office work. Send me back to the forest, damn it. Put me in the workshop floor. I don't want to sit and look at the Excel paper all day. I
Well,
like doing things with my hand, but that also means I have to be on my leg.
yeah, that's yeah, but you like what you do, right?
Yeah, I don't plan to retire from any of this until if they kick me out of the lab. Probably my brother, or if one day I just feel like I'm done with it, I am going to retire, do something else maybe. But I
Mm,
probably still do something hand on, like being like a bench scientist instead of field work.
right. I,
But
I
I absolutely don't like office work.
I totally get that. It's not for everybody. Which I was also going to ask. Does your job like give you accommodations as someone who lives with a disability?
The current one, the current one, I don't have to ask for it, which is really alien for me. I have to asking for it or even fight for it, or sometimes I have to get in the fight to get one. But this time, like the latest one, I just get it, no question asked.
Oh, so it was a really alien feeling to be able to just get what you needed.
Yeah, like the lap stool with a wheel, and
Hmm.
the office chair with like a leg rest,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
don't really mind me like put my leg up when working. So that is a plus. Sometimes people look at me when I have to like unzip my pants. Not that way. I mean my pants leg, like my pants leg have like a side zipper. I have to like unzip it and undo like the wrap and put on like the inflammation cream
Right, right.
to make it not like a red hot inflame like before. Sometimes people look at me like, "What are you doing?" And I just look at them like, "If you want to know, I can I can explain." But most people just say, you got to get here really quick because the team leader really want to put you in the forest to follow the animal and stuff."
Right, right.
And I would say I am happily obliged because I am so done with the Excel sheet.
I
And
don't doubt you.
and last week I'm well enough to like do really short sprint in the walkway, and I did that. Everyone freaked out like, "You're not supposed to do that right now." So I'm like, just one time, just one day. I have done this for like 2 months. Please.
I'm glad though that you're able to uh, be more active in that way.
Yeah, I usually like do a short sprint inside a building. If
Hmm.
someone walking faster than me, I just follow them. Or if I need someone, I would just just double dash into them, like I am an action character game.
Like Sonic.
Yeah, that is like the level of the moves I would do normally. So
Yeah, yeah,
have to
yeah.
stick to like slow walking really bother me. And the worst part is my brother was really like teasing me about it because he is like almost 2 meters tall. His leg is really long, and he is a fast walker. I used to walk the same speed as him, but now I am like keep stagger behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes he just walk up the stair and just look down, like like I am on high ground.
uh, I did want to ask, how do you aside? I hear a lot of support from your brother, but have you do you also receive any kind of support from your other family members or from friends?
Both of you assume I have a friend. From family, they actually complain about like, when are you going to stop being hurt? And I'm like, that's not my choice. You got to ask my genetic and my body about that.
That's all right. Real quick, Archboss, thank you so much for following. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, so I know you shared earlier that you had to fight for your accommodations. Does that wear on you? Needing to always need to fight for it to get what
I was
the access you need?
I would say it's more like I take a chance to legitimately and legally yell at people. So
Mm.
basically, if they mess with me, I was just using them as like emotion dump plays. Like if they want to bother me with my leg, I would traumatize you back.
Oh wow.
You yeah, I would say like I'm not I am not kind of people who claim to be good people. I would if they want to mess with me, I will mess with them back, and I have no shame in it.
I don't think that's a wrong thing though, because no one should give you any shit for your disability. No one should give you any shit for needing access.
Yeah, I got a lot of problem using like priority restroom because if I sit down, I can't get up without holding onto something.
Yeah,
And some
yeah.
people just think you look like first year university student. Why do you need that? That is for old people. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I am old. I am 10 years older than you think, and also my leg hurt. Or sometimes like in this happened when the injury was really fresh. I
Hmm.
was sitting in priority seat and someone kicked my leg because
They kicked your leg?
they basically kicked like my shoes
The hell?
on the leg that just freshly out of accident few days before, and I am on the train to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, there are like a monk step into the train, and for some reason a monk also count as priority seat user, so they think I am some teenage kid just occupying the seat. So I just show them my leg, and they don't even say anything. They just rotate and walk away, and I'm like, at least say sorry or something.
Ah, boy. That's that's unfortunate. Um
A lot of people don't think young people can get hurt, but we are biological construct to we can break.
yeah, no, anybody can get hurt. Disability disability can happen to anyone at any time. Um I didn't think I would have become disabled, but next thing you know, here I am. I'm glad I can still walk and I can still do my job, but at the same time, it's humbling to think there are people like you, like me, everywhere around the world who need to navigate this, and it's unfortunate because not everybody has that has the wherewithal to think about another person's perspective. And it sucks that we constantly need to keep fighting in order to basically just exist or to live our own lives.
And sometimes, like the way people perceive people with body issue also not great. Like in
Hmm.
Thailand, sometimes they think like people with disability wouldn't have a life. They wouldn't go to cosplay con and they wouldn't have a high paying job. But I mean, here I am.
Yeah,
I do both. Like right now, I just work on something that really big, and the pay is like I would say it's better than average. But
yeah.
it doesn't help me not having a leg pain at the night. My
Mm,
leg still hurt. I just can't afford to ignore the pain by open a new box of things I order.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I get a new thing, it still not help me with the pain.
Now, is this pain that you're feeling, um, like, is it something that can be eventually relieved, or is this something that you'll be living with?
Some part, like my experience, really make me don't like the way some disability support work. Like they have like a money limit for it, which is doesn't make any sense. Even if you wish like billionaire wish, you still can be disabled.
Yeah, yeah,
So having like a money limit really stupid. Like I don't need the support money. I make a lot. I just need to use the seat without people trying to kick me out.
yeah. That's how it should be. And the fact that there are people out there who can't even like consider that it sucks because it's something that we don't they don't normally think about until it happens to them like my wife Annika said in chat, people don't care until it happens to them sometimes.
And people usually think like we have no life, but like no, we are full of life. You just never even get to see it because we cannot leave our own space. Or even if we leave our own space, we still got into a wall before a wall to actually going out there to be seen.
And
I have a friend who have like a brain surgery and spine surgery, and
yeah.
he doing like what does it call? I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like the guy in a big armor, and he cosplay like a space marine something. But
Oh.
he because he cannot walk, so he put on an armor and make his wheelchair to look like the mechanical car thing.
Oh.
And then people shit on him because he used the priority bathroom to relieve himself, which is like,
What the
yeah,
hell?
cosplayer can be disabled too.
No, you can curse. That's fine. But no, and I think that's the issue. Part of it is that we don't like as much as disability, or showing people with disabilities as being represented. It's getting better, but at the same time, it still needs a whole lot of work because we still need to be able to look at someone with mobility aids who are in a wheelchair who need to use them full time or part time. We still need to see them as people first and foremost. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there are still people out there who only see the walker, the wheelchair, the prosthetic. That's all they see, instead of thinking this is a person who has just as every right to live and exist as I do. And
Yeah, we supposed to do fun thing too,
yeah,
especially when we stuck with this kind of pain. At least doing fun thing is like a good distraction from
it
the
is.
situation we have to deal with.
Yeah, and and that's how. And you need to find joy where you can, especially when you're when you have a disability like that, whether it be physical or mental. You got to find your own ways to cope. You got to find your own ways to live your life. And it sucks to hear that there's people out there who still shit on your friend for cosplaying, just because he's a person with a disability, like that. It's I don't know. For me, it's as someone.
Infuriating.
It is infuriating because as someone who's cosplayed themselves, myself in at conventions and such, like to see that and to know that, that there are people out there who look down on people with disabilities for just trying to enjoy their life. It it's upsetting to me because like, well, I mean, not just from speaking from my experience, but from anybody anywhere else. I remember when I went to Anime Los Angeles, they actually had an initiative where you can actually rent mobility aids, wheelchairs, and electric scooters for anybody who's going to the convention, which is so cool. And I wish we can see more of that, going into other, not just anime conventions, but um,
The general
anywhere.
public space.
Yeah, anywhere and everywhere. In all honesty, but it's just heartbreaking to know that people will still, yeah, give you crap for living your own life.
It probably because the media like to paint people with disability with whatever crap they're up to, I guess. Because a lot of time people just, at least in Thailand, they do it like, oh, you have to pity them or something like that. But I'm like, oh, pity not going to fix this. We just need accommodation, and you're not asking us what happened, or if you ask, just do it nicely.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't mind people asking like why I walk like that, but I don't like it when people think I shouldn't walk like that because my age or because I can sprint yesterday.
yeah. That shouldn't be the case at all, and I think it does. It's a disservice to our community, to our communities. Whenever we don't think about that, and I think that's the sad part. Is just we don't tend to think about, or we don't tend to be empathetic towards other people until we get to their same position, and it just sucks because having to always need to fight for your place at the table is it's a necessary fight, but it can get tiring too.
Yeah, it's tiring, and for people who don't have this level of stubbornness,
Hmm.
it's kind of a pain for them.
Yeah, it is. um
Like I don't mind punting people for being an ass because my leg, but a lot of people just don't have enough mental energy to do it because they already spend all of their sanity dealing with themselves.
yeah, yeah. I mean, living with a chronic health condition or disability, um like, try as we might, it can wear you down if you're not careful. Um, in regards to that, how how are you feeling on your day to day, being able to, at least emotionally, be able to navigate that? Um, just trying to, you know, like, how are you able to find your own sense of peace or hope, as you go on the day to day?
To be honest, I actually never think about that. It's just something that happened, is come and gone. And
Yeah.
even if we have a time machine, going back to fix it is not really the best choice, as we
Mm.
can see in many time travel anime. So I just I just deal with it. However, I can afford to like either find a good doctor or make something that help my life easier.
Yeah.
Like one thing that is not mobility aid for people, but I
Mm.
use it as mobility aid is like a grabber, like a stick with a grabber in the end. Because I
Mm.
can't bend down to pick things up, I just use it to grab things off the floor. It's really useful for something that is meant to be a children toy.
Yeah, I mean, I using so the fun thing about having a cane is that, not only is it a visible indicator for people, to know, oh hey, look, this person's disabled, this person has like some mobility issues. um it's also a nice tool every now and then, because it's like, oh, I need to reach over there, but I'm a little bit too far away. I unfold my cane, I press the button, be like, hey, there you go. It's also kind of nice being able to wave it around on occasion, because it's like, it's because like, it's, if I need to use it, I can always be like, bop, there you go. Although it is foldable, so I doubt it's gonna do much damage. But hey, it's nice
You
to
can
have
bonk people
around.
with it.
Yeah, it's a hell of a bunker, that's for sure.
My dad jokingly say like if my leg is not getting better, he's going to get me like a walking stick, but it's not old people walking stick. It's like a quarter stick,
Like a
a
quarter
quarter
staff.
staff. Yeah, it's like a Thai quarter staff that
Oh, really?
a lot, there are a lot of dad, like a lot of dad in the old time use.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and normally if the dad have like a kid and someone want to, flirt with the kid, he just wipe out the stick and be like, I might be old, but if you do something to my kid, I will bonk you in the head with this. Yeah, he gonna give me that kind of stick. I'm like, I'm all in, to be honest. I don't mind a cool stick.
Hey, yeah. I mean, staffs, canes. Let's bring it back into fashion. I think those are amazing mobility aids because a because they support you, and b it looks really cool.
Seriously, we should bring back like a can and stick and also a cape.
Yeah, capes. Did you know? Okay, I gotta share this. Did you know that nurses used to wear capes back in the day?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So, back during World War I, World War II, at least on the U.S. side of things, nurses actually used to wear capes over their dresses as part of the uniform, and it looks really sick.
Mm, Like seriously, if we have a lot of like a field nurse, so a nurse that goes see people in the house, like we should
Yeah,
bring that back.
bring
Seriously,
it back. Not
and like since the world is like slowly slip into old people society, we should normalize having a staff and a cape when we're going out. Either if because we are old or because our leg is hurt.
Honestly, yeah, and I think, and that's part of the issue is that I think that needs to get normalized. That needs to be shown. Oh, hey, people need this, and that's okay. That should just be a normal part of life instead of like, why do they need it? We don't like it. Doesn't We don't need to question it. It's just there, you know.
Yeah, we need to bring back the cool wizard mentality back. If you
Mm,
want to have a cave and walk with a stick, then that's fine. It's not like you're making fun of people.
of
You
course,
just do what make your life easier,
it
and
does.
that's it.
Yeah. Um. So, I is there anything else about your well, I was going to ask, what are your since living with your health condition now, what are your what do you have any health and wellness goals you have in mind for yourself that you're trying to achieve?
Mm. Well, for now I want my leg to not bother me anymore, and also eat a lot of good stuff. But for the long term, for the medium term, go
Hmm.
back to field work because I really miss doing workshop and field work.
Yeah.
And a long term is I want to go back to tournament, but it's going to be a long way because uh, there are more things that I have a problem with my body than my leg. My leg is just the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like I just finally fixed my shoulder crack when I swing a sword. I want to go back to tournament, but I probably have to like do a lot of sparring training when my leg getting better, and probably have to relearn like a footwork.
Yeah.
Walking limp for a year is not doing good with my hip.
No, I totally understand. Sometimes you gotta start from zero. I remember going back to the gym, like, and it's it's really humbling because, like after my injury, it's like, oh my god, like how can I adapt? How can I get better? But part of it is having the will and wherewithal to push yourself and understand that there you may have your limits, but those can be pushed. And I think you're a prime example of that, Selma.
Well, I would say it is partially because my brother, he just say if it's not going to work you trying it, then it's okay to give it a try, or at least give it a try when someone supervise you. So if something happens, they can
Mm.
get you out of the trouble. And
Yeah.
since I start working with him, he take me to the gym and he keep encourage me to do like heavier exercise. And we do try some crazy stuff like we read about if you exercise only on one side, it actually helps the other side that you cannot use it. So we are
Yeah.
testing that right now.
Yeah. It literally is use it or lose it, and that's part of the issue is that I'm glad your brother is very much on you and making sure you stay active, because when some people who unfortunately who've been through what you've been through or been through what I've been through, when that happens to them, they don't think they can go back to any kind of semblance of a normal life or a regular life when in fact you can. Things will be different. It won't be the same way as it used to be, but you can still live your life.
I would say having someone to support you actually help a lot. Like sometimes I just think my leg probably not getting any better, but it help if I think too much about it. If it not help, maybe I'm better divert my brain power to do something else because orange cat have only one brain cell and it cannot dwelling into one thing too long.
You only have the one brain cell?
I jokingly that orange cat have one brain cell, and I would say I'm happily follow the principle of orange cat. Don't get too worried about things.
We have a cat in chat too. They may be able to confirm this with us as well as being a different colored cat. uh,
Yeah, sometimes I have to remind myself, like orange cat have one brain cell. You better use it on something else. That is not worry about if it's going to heal or not.
yeah.
That is like a part of biology. We got a lot of exception. Like my brothers jokingly say, like biology have more exception than the rules. So anything possible within the limit of physics.
Yeah. It is possible. And so long as you're able to push yourself and find that you the part of the part a big part of your limitations are the ones that you set yourself mentally, and you can always go beyond that. You may be trapped in your own physical body, but when it comes to your mind, the imagination, how you feel, you don't have to stay trapped there. And I think you embody that, Selma.
Well, I mean, sometimes I kind of piss off about not being able to do something I like. Like I cannot sit cross-legged right now, but one day, one day in the future, I will just take back the time that I want to do it, and I cannot do it. It's just not today. That's
Uh,
a that's future me problem.
so our other cat in chat, Celeste, is meowing at you.
Just make a cat noise back at them. Yeah, my boyfriend cat don't know how to meow. He only know how to make like a beep noise. So I am making a beep noise back.
uh, well, I think we're
That normally actually an expensive thing. Normally
yeah.
people have to donate to hear the cat noise. You guys get a free one.
Yeah, there we go. Free meows for everyone. Yeah. Well, I think we're about to wrap up pretty soon. But Selma, is there anything else you wanted to share with me or the audience right now? In regards to not just your. I mean, we talked about your disability at length, but is there anything else we should know about you? Because you are a whole person. You're not just what you're afflicted with, but you have so much going on. Is there anything you want to share with us?
Hmm, I mean, aside from the work and my crazy stupid shit, I don't really know. But if there's something I want to tell you guys, it's probably I would say a bad joke and a dark joke actually a really good way to cope with this stuff. Like if you see sometimes I just joke about myself or my kind of injury, and some people just say that be a bad test or something like that. But I mean, if you see it as a joke, it's really not a big deal for you. Like, it could be a big deal in terms of legal stuff and the support and stuff, but
Yeah.
for yourself, for your feeling, maybe turn it into a joke is not a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing at all, because I think you need to be able to look at your life and see it, and you should be able to laugh at yourself too, because you know life gets, there's too much serious things that go out that happen in life. I think you should be able to laugh at it, laugh at your circumstances too sometimes, you know.
And that's your leg. You can talk shit about it.
True.
That's
You can.
my leg.
It's
I
your
can talk at
leg.
it.
That's right. It is. It's your leg. You can talk shit whenever you want. No one else can.
And if someone talks shit about you and if they are taller than you, you can say, if they don't shut up, maybe I will steal your leg. Your leg bone is mine now. I did this a lot with my brother because he got a good leg.
Well, Selma, I really do appreciate you taking the time out to have this talk with me and share your experiences and share your perspectives with myself and with the audience. Where can where can they find you, Selma? On social media or like anywhere else?
I have my YouTube, but it's mostly like the place I post a clip. I have a Twitch, which is where I mostly do like a lecture streaming with my brother. But I do have a plan to do like some basic lab station to show people like the more stupid shit happen in the lab side of it. We are not always serious about it, to be honest. And I got a Twitter and Blue Sky for like a daily life stuff. While I say I do a lot of science thing, I mostly post a food pic.
Food pics. Hey, food pics are always something that we strive and love to have. I mean, I hate to say it, but I am a big fan of Thai food, but it probably is Americanized to hell and back to deal with our tastes. So one of these days, I have to actually try authentic Thai food.
Well, I mean, I would say the level of spiciness in Thailand is like make you regret being born kind of spicy. So
Oh, give me
for
that
like
challenge! Yes, yes, send to me,
you also
send to me, Selma.
you also can request like make it like killing me kind of spicy or something like that too. But I would say you might end up with like a gut pain because of that, because I see someone did that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm happy to know that that you're still active and like be able to share your interests and hobbies with us, on all your platforms. So thank you so much, Selma. Like I said, yeah, go ahead.
Maybe we can follow up like after June or like in the end of the year if my plan work.
Hey, yeah, let's. I wouldn't mind. Let's. I would totally love to have a follow up with you one of these days here on the podcast. That'd be great.
Yeah, so you also like, just in case anyone who is in the same line of work at me, like as me, like a mechanic, field scientist, field technician. Like if your body get hurt, like it's not the end of career. There are ways to go back. You just have to think about it like I might cannot carry things anymore, but now I get like a tools box with a wheel, so I can drag it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like there are more than one way to fix a problem. Sometimes you just have to think in a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah,
You
there
have to think like
is.
Orange Cat.
Yeah, we're just we just need to imagine it. So, Selma, again, thank you so much for your time. I know it's fairly late over there in Thailand right now, while it's getting close to the late morning for us here on our side of the pond. But
I mean, I would say I am more happy that people wake up to watch us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's that just means it's important that there are people out there who want to see you that or not that want to share your story, and to understand that there's so many other perspectives and lives out there outside of ourselves. So like Wolf a Lot Spam said, Otsu, Selma and Riko, it was a great conversation. And I was happy to have this conversation with you, Selma. Thank you so much.
And thank you for giving me a chance to rant about everything I've been through
No, of
in
course.
2019.
No, I'm glad because not everybody has the space to talk about this stuff, and and I'm glad to provide that for people who want to, because it's important. We being able to share our lives with each other, because it's how we connect and how we foster kindness, how we foster goodwill, how we foster perspectives. Because without that, we're 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 alone, and no person is an island. So I'm very glad I had to be able to spend the time with you today, Selma. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for let me be here too.
Of course. Anytime, my friend. Well, I think it's time we raid out. So I'm going to set it up to one of my friends I've made, to Hikari Tayo. Hope she wouldn't mind the surprise raid. But until next time, chat, audience, thank you so much for coming by and checking us out. Because we're I'm glad you all think what we do here is important, and the fact that you're willing to listen to us talk about these issues is is something that which warms my heart. So thank you for listening in and watching and hearing the both of us. All right. So, in any case, guys, I hope all of you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and maybe we'll see you on the next episode of Virtual Vital Signs. If not, maybe you can catch me here on Twitch, on YouTube, on Blue Sky, on Twitter, wherever you can find me. I'm Riko Siempre, RN, and this is Selma Kattenhavn, aka Scientific Cryptid. And thank you so much for watching. You guys take care, okay?